and welcome back to the Lawrence and the Machine workshop. And since you enjoyed the last FAQ video, we're going to do it again, except with different questions, obviously. And because it's one of our FAQ videos, we need to follow the tradition and listen to voiceover Lawrence go through the disclaimer. And then we'll crack on. The answers I give in this video are my opinion, based on quite a few years of experience. No company has passed me any money to try and sell their products during this video. However, there are some challenges that you will face doing the conversion that have been solved by products in this space. So, I am just giving advice based on what we usually use as part of the conversions.
What parts do I need from my donor vehicle?
Now this one's pretty straightforward. The things you need from your donor vehicle is the engine, obviously, the gearbox, the ECU, the throttle pedal and the shifter. Now there's a couple of notes on that. If you are doing a TDCI conversion with one of our dashboard controllers, you don't actually need the BMW throttle pedal. It's just that some customers prefer how the gearbox kicks down with the BMW pedal, that's all. And also, if you're using a two-wheel drive donor vehicle for a four-wheel drive conversion, then your gearbox isn't going to be that ideal, so you're going to need to pick one of them up as well.
How do I pipe my coolant system correctly?
Now there's many diagrams whizzing around the internet these days about how to route your coolant pipes for your M57 conversion, and the problem with them is that most of them are wrong. Now the key thing people do get wrong is the point at which their expansion tank actually gets piped into their system. Now on Defender and Discovery conversions, the easiest place to pipe your expansion tank to is the bottom holes, mainly because it's the closest to the expansion tank on those conversions. Unfortunately, this is the wrong place, and as you can see from this diagram that I have created, or that ChatGPT has created, you can see that the expansion tank actually needs to be piped into a hot pipe, either one of the heater pipes or teed off the back of your oil cooler, or basically anything on the hot side of the thermostat. By the way, don't look too closely at this diagram. There's arrows and stuff going all sorts of wrong places. Yeah, take it with a pinch of salt.
Just hold on a minute there. This diagram really isn't correct either. Really do take it with a pinch of salt. There's all sorts of pipes going everywhere that ChatGPT has just added in randomly. The point is that the expansion tank is on the warm side of the thermostat, not the cold side.
Now, for the Defender conversion, we make full coolant and intake pipe kits, which obviously take all the guesswork out of the job, and they look mighty fine too. So if you'd like a set of them, get in touch. Right, I promise to stop trying to sell you stuff in this video. They are a mighty fine set of pipes though.
Will my old...
Yep.
Will my old TDI radiator be suitable for cooling the M57?
There is a very simple answer to this question. No.
What's the maximum horsepower I can run reliably?
Now, if reliability is the goal, and it should be really, the max horsepower you're going to be looking at is 380 to 400 horsepower really. Anything past that and the reliability really starts to dip. And to achieve that, you're going to need an R90 fuel pump, which the E53 engine comes fitted with as standard. You're going to need a bigger intercooler, a hybrid turbo, and of course, a nice ECU tune.
What's the highest mileage donor vehicle I should consider?
Now people really get hung up on the number on the dashboard, but it matters a hell of a lot less than people think, especially for the M57. Now our policy here is to source engines between 100 and 140,000 miles. But what's far more important than that is that the engine has been well taken care of in its previous life. For example, I would much rather fit a well-maintained 250,000 mile engine to my car rather than a neglected 65,000 mile engine. The service history and general care of that engine matter way more than mileage alone.
What should I use for the fuel system?
Now for the fuel system, you're going to be looking at mimicking the E53 setup with the inline pump and the inline filter. These being inline makes them incredibly easy to fit, and also these are capable of supplying fuel for anything up to 400 horsepower. Now if you're converting a TDI vehicle, either a Defender or a Discovery, please don't be tempted to use your original fuel filter to save a little bit of money. These are neither designed to work under pressure and they don't filter finely enough for the M57. And if your filtration isn't up to spec, then you're going to start having problems with your high pressure pump and your injectors. And believe me, that gets expensive fast.
Is the ZF8 HP 70X gearbox worth the extra cost?
Now, I get asked this question an awful lot, and I can never really give a straight answer. The 8 HP is quite possibly one of the best gearboxes I've used or experienced in one of my cars. All the guys in the workshop use the 8 HP, but we use them every day for towing. We go on 10,000 mile round trips and we push them hard. So for us, it's worth it. If you're just doing 1,000 miles a year going to the shop and back, potentially won't be worth the extra cost, but that's for you guys to decide when you take on your project.
Can I use the twin-turbo M57?
Now, the twin-turbo engine is well known as the fastest M57 when it's in the original car. And understandably, people think that that's the one to go for when they're doing the conversion. And don't get me wrong, it is a fantastic engine. But if you go through the pros and cons of having one for a conversion, don't think you'll be buying one in a hurry. Now let's start with the pros. Straight out of the box, it's the fastest M57. You're going to get 280 horsepower without a single modification. The second pro is that generally, because the cars are worth a little bit more, people take care of them a little bit more, you know, doing regular services, maintenance, whatever else. Being honest, that's all the pros I can think of. So let's move on to the cons. Now, because they are a sought after vehicle, you're going to spend an awful lot of money actually sourcing that engine. Even crashed ones go for way more than any other models of BMWs do. 2. Now, the twin turbos are the least reliable of all the M57s, not least because they're controlled by vacuum, but also because BMW very carefully designed oil starvation into their little turbo, and when that goes bang, you're going to have a mighty, mighty massive bill to get that repaired. 3. The twin turbo engine is also really hard to fit into the Land Rover engine bay because the turbo outlet pipe comes down and sits very nicely on top of your steering box. And after all this hardship and cost and worry about the reliability of your turbos, you're going to end up with an engine that can produce no more power than a single turbo. If you want 400 horsepower out of a twin turbo, no problem. If you want 400 horsepower out of a single turbo, no problem. Hopefully that clears up some more of the big questions around the M57 conversion. If you haven't heard your question being answered in this video, we may have already answered it in one of our previous ones. Failing that, just drop it in the comments or send me an email and I'll do my level best to get back to you. After all, we're here to help. In the meantime, if you found this video at all helpful, you need to go ahead and click the like button, and if you want to see more videos of my dog, you need to let me know in the comments too. Other than that, if you want to see this beautiful face again, you need to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time.